Well, good morning. Thank you for coming this morning to our Eagle Lakes Aquatics Facility grand opening. We're very excited for today, and this day has finally come, and we've got beautiful weather. And thank you for our crowd. We thank you for all the kids that came from our local camps. But we want to get started this morning. If I could, what I'd like to do is ask for our invocation for Father Tim Navin with the San Marco Catholic Church to come and do our invocation. Father Tim.
Whenever we look to the interests of our neighbor and our community and serve them, we are God's own co-workers. Let us pray for His help through this celebration, that the Lord will bring this work to successful completion, and that His protection will keep those who work, play, and compete here safe from injury. We entreat your kindness, O Lord, that this place and its beautiful facilities will contribute to the leisure activities and that renew the spirit and strengthen mind and body. Grant all who come here may find the enrichment of friendship and together offer you the praise that is your due. We ask this in your grace and love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Father Tim. If you would, just remain standing. Yeah, this is a little exercise before you get in the pool. We'd like to ask Jay Robert if you'll join us as he provides our national anthem.
Oh, say, you see my love was so proud in there at the time whose lost light and bright star through the
That's Adams. I think it's Adams' coach, son coach.
And around its head, the bombs bursting there, they flew through the night. That all straight of that star that way for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Play ball. Jay Robert, thank you. Thank you. Please have a seat. Thank you, Jay. Well, we're going to make this quick. We got a lot of kids that want to go swimming, so we wanted to bring you all out today, this morning, just to say thanks to a lot of different people. But we thought it appropriate for our first speaker to be someone, and this is someone that you all know and has been with us for many years as county commissioner, and we're very thrilled in her role in bringing this pool to East Naples and to Eagle Lakes Community Park. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our Commissioner, Donna Fiala. Commissioner Fiala.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. But this is a happy day for the kids in our community. I just want to thank all of you for being here. A lot of you came out at the middle of the day or other things to do. I see a whole audience full of wonderful people who have come here, and I really appreciate that. I want to thank so many people, but like you said, we have to hurry and get these kids into the water too. So I'll just try and pick out a few, like our Commissioner Bill McDaniel. Bill came all the way from Golden Gate Estates. So that's a wonderful thing. We appreciate that. I want to introduce some people. Leo, are you going to introduce some of the staff members or anything? Oh, okay. Steve, you'll get the staff members? Okay, good. Then I won't do that. Pickleball is a great thing around here too. Raise your hands, Jim and Carol Ludwig. They are the ones that brought this to us. And then sitting next to them, we have Liz Saunders and Dan. Dan sits on the Tourist Development Council, and I want to tell you that it's a wonderful thing. We really appreciate all that you're doing. And Sandra, oh my goodness, from the Merchants Association, and Chris Schuchard is here. These are people that are really instrumental. But I want to tell you also, Paula, where are you, Paula? Oh, we're going to have swim lessons for the children here. And Paula is from NCH, and they're going to be conducting these swim lessons for the kids free of charge. So these kids will be learning. Don't forget, some of these kids have never seen a swimming pool before. This is a first time for them. So this is a great thing, and Paula's going to make sure that they can swim safely with the swim lessons. I understand we had about 400 kids here the other day, one afternoon. I haven't kept track of all of the things now, but this is probably one of the greatest things that has happened to this East Naples community. And I want to thank all of our staff members, all the creative people here, and everybody who has supported this effort. It's really meant a lot for these children. Osmond, raise your hand. Osmond is going to become a citizen. Right there, raise your hand. On the 10th of July. So we're so proud of you, Osmond. That's a wonderful thing. I'm going to leave it at that. I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming here, for being a part of it. I want to welcome you children. Now this is going to give you something to do during the day where you can cool off and have a lot of fun. Well, just thank you for all your support. Everyone, thank you, because we couldn't have done it alone. Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you. Very nicely done. Thank you. And we're excited as well as to have Commissioner McDaniel here. Commissioner McDaniel, and that's our next pool, Big Corkscrew Island Regional Park. We're working on it, and that'll be coming soon too. So we're excited about that project as well. But I wanted to introduce you to our next speaker, if I could, just to talk to you a little bit about this gentleman. Now, Phil Brougham unfortunately couldn't be here today, and he wanted to send his regrets and his thanks to the commissioner, to Mr. Oakes, Mr. Carnell, and all the work that was done. Phil is on our advisory board. We're very fortunate, though, to have a gentleman that worked with the Parks and Rec Division for 35 years. He saw the Parks Division when it first started and had built a lot of the parks in our community and has done a tremendous job over the years. And after he retired, we have a duck waving at us here. After he retired, he continued on with us as a member of the Board of County Commissioners Parks and Rec Advisory Board. So we're very fortunate to have that level of expertise in helping us with our projects. He's taught me a lot about parks, and I'm pleased to introduce him as your next speaker, Mr. Murdo Smith.
No, I didn't see that. I guess there's a drone flying above. So, good morning, all residents, community members, county commissioners, Commissioner Fiala, Commissioner McDaniels. I don't know if there's anybody from the school board here, but I just want to say hello if they're here, or thanks for coming. I'd like to thank the county manager and his staff for being here to see this facility opened. I'd also like to thank the facilities management for all their assistance in getting this through design and getting it going. I'd also like to mention, if the Parks and Recreation, any more members are here, I'd like to say thank you to them for all their support getting this to fruition also. And of course the Parks and Recreation staff, Barry and all his staff, and Steve Carnell, who oversees that division also. Well, what a great day to come to the opening of this, one of the coolest facilities in all of Collier County today. It seems like just yesterday we were being serenaded by the Lely High School Drumline Band and young school children and their parents and teachers wearing hard hats and hoisting shovels to do the groundbreaking at this facility. The results are right here behind you and to the side of you. I mean, it's a great facility. This facility serves as a new and vibrant community resource ready to be added to our network of parks and recreation infrastructure in Collier County. The vision was to have a facility that would meet the recreational needs of the community, as well as providing a facility for high school swim teams for their use and practice and swim meets. I think the facility has met those two objectives. This facility is something to be very proud of, and I hope we all enjoy the Eagle Lakes Aquatic Facility well into the future. Thank you, and happy swimming.
Murdo, thank you so much. That was very nice. Commissioner Fiala mentioned something, and it's very, very important of our mission here in Parks and Rec. And, you know, we're fortunate to have so many people in the community to support our effort. And one of the groups, and several of the groups that have done that over the years, is certainly Naples Hospital, Community Hospital, as well as the Naples Children Education Foundation and their work with the Health and Safety Children's Coalition. They've taught thousands of children in Collier County how to swim and how to stay safe in the water. And we are very appreciative of the partnership that we have with that group. And so we thought it just appropriate that we invite the executive director of that group to come and say a few words. So with that, let me introduce you to Paula DeGriglio with the Health and Safety Coalition. Paula.
Good morning. What a great day to celebrate here in Collier County. This state-of-the-art aquatic facility, as Executive Director of the NCH Safe and Healthy Children's Coalition, is giving me goosebumps to know that so many children and adults are going to be learning a life-saving skill, which is swimming. Our coalition has been working since 2012 to prevent the leading cause of death in children in Collier County, ages 1 to 4, which is drowning. Drowning, Florida leads the nation of drowning deaths. The only good thing is it's 100% preventable, and the way that we can prevent that is swimming lessons, and that is what this is so exciting for our community. I want to thank Commissioner Fiala for making this possible. I know she had a dream and she came through. Also, the wonderful staff of Collier County Parks and Recreation, Barry Williams, and we can wait to partner with Brian Owen, who is the director, the aquatics director here of this beautiful facility, for us to implement the Swim Central program, which is a 10-day water safety program where we'll be busing in kids from this area, from the preschools for 10 days, Monday to Friday, for half hour, for them to learn how to swim and to be safer around the water. This is thanks to the generosity of the Naples Children Education Foundation, the funders of the Winter Wine Festival, and CH Healthcare System. But I also want to take the opportunity to remind all of you, especially the parents, that 4th of July holiday is coming. And unfortunately, Collier County has seen drowning deaths around this time. In 2013, we saw a little girl in Sugden Park. She drowned when the parents were in a barbecue and they were cleaning up. Last year, it was a 4-year-old autistic little girl here in East Naples that got out of her house and she drowned. That was the Monday before 4th of July. So please, parents, follow the layers of protection. And one of them is the water watches, which I'm so happy to see many of you wearing them. This is to designate an adult to be water watcher, to be supervising the children when you have a family gathering or just a party or you're going to the beach. And adults should be supervising the children. The second one is teach your children never to swim alone. They should understand that they always have to have an adult with them. Second, if you are missing your child, the first place to look is the water, the pool, the canal. Don't look under the closets or things like that. Just go directly to the water. The third thing is, of course, swimming. We have beautiful waterfall facilities around the Collier County. Now here is Naples, which was so needed, where you can come and register your children to learn how to swim. The fourth one, it will be the life jackets. Life jacket loaner stations. We have 15 locations around the county where you can borrow these life jackets, which are approved by the Coast Guard approved, because the water wings and the floating devices are no approved. The only ones are approved by the U.S. Coast Guard. Lastly, is we have our friends from Collier EMS, who are, if you want, you can learn how to do CPR. They're going to be demonstrated, because CPR, in a case of emergency, will make a child to survive. If a person doesn't do CPR, the likelihood for a child to survive is less. Lastly, I just want to say that, you know, that for everybody to save the date, that on February the 2nd, 10,000 of these rubber ducks, which are friends of Stewie the duck, which is our water safety mascot, are going to be swimming in San Juan Lagoon. We are partnered with Collier County Parks and Recreation and many other agencies to do a water safety day to celebrate that we are going to be one day zero drowning in Collier County. Thank you and have a wonderful summer.
Could I just mention something? I just want to quickly say, when we were planning this pool, and it took a lot of us to plan it, but most of all, it took the community. We had a big community meeting, and there in the crowd was somebody from Lely High School, the swim coach, right? Raise your hand, Adam. And he was here, and he gave us a lot of pointers as to what we needed to do in order to have a lap pool so the swim team at Lely High School could practice here as well. And you really helped us a lot. We really appreciate that. I just wanted to mention that.
Commissioner, thank you. Okay, everybody look over the right shoulder. Do you see that timer there? That's not timing how long I'm speaking. That's for our swim team. So that's for our competitive swim team that Lely will have. So we're excited about that. Oh, it's on the back of the pool house there. All right. You can use that to time my speaking if you like. I don't know. Our next speaker, I just wanted to start by saying this is a guy that last Sunday sent me an email, and he was on the top of the slide up here where Stewie and the Gator are, at the top of the slide, getting ready to go down the slide, and the lightning detection went off. And so he couldn't make it down the slide, so we've asked him this morning to go. This gentleman is a fellow that's worked for the county 30 plus years, and I have to tell you, his calm leadership has been a refreshing thing for our division as well as the department that he serves. He comes across with a Vulcan logic in looking at things and how things work and what decisions that need to be made. So we're very pleased and very honored to have him to open our pool. We do hope to get him up on the slide some point, maybe not today, not this morning. But let me introduce you to Mr. Steve Cardell, our Public Services Department Administrative Head. Mr. Cardell.
Yeah, I've never been called a Vulcan, but we'll run with it. Okay. Good morning, everyone. You know, you really need to explore and enjoy and immerse yourself in this facility because there's so many things here. And one of them I was just looking at, sitting here now, there's this huge water tower in the middle of the family pool. And Commissioner McDaniel, Commissioner Fiala, first off, I want to thank you for being here, but I want to offer you a constructive suggestion. And that is this water tower dumps water every 3 minutes. Now that coincides with the timing that we give public speakers at county commission meetings. So I'm thinking maybe we could bring the tower in sometime. Never mind. Anyway, again, thank you both commissioners for being here. Commissioner Fiala for your vision and relentless support and advocacy for this thing for 6-7 years now. Thank you again. And Commissioner McDaniel, thank you for your countywide view of everything and your support on projects all over the county and your understanding of how this benefits our total community. Thank you again for your support. Also need to recognize my boss, Leo Oakes, our county manager. Thank you, Leo. Leo's been active in this pool project basically in 3 ways. He's been asking me 2 questions, pretty regular basis. When's it going to open and how much is it going to cost? When's it going to open? How much is it going to cost? Now, depending on how I answered those questions, sometimes he would have a third question or statement. Oh, really? But we worked through it, and Leo's been tremendously supportive all the way through, and we should appreciate that. You just can't get these things done or delivered without executive support. I want to recognize Leo. Also want to thank our facilities management team. I have Dan Rodriguez, our Deputy Director of Public Utilities and over Facilities Management. Dan. And Margaret Bishop and Jim Morton, please stand up. Jim was our project manager. Jim is known as the happiest project manager in Collier County. And why wouldn't he, working on a project like this? Thank you, Jim and Margaret, for getting this delivered. And we have our architect of record, Victor Latavish, in the back as well. Victor, thank you so much for your design work. And Doug Mash from Deck Contracting. Doug, where are you? All right, Doug, this man delivered the goods. All right, thank you so much for getting this beautiful facility to production and delivery and open for everyone's use and benefit. I also want to take a moment and recognize our park staff who've had a very integral role. Commissioner Fiala was talking about Coach Peterson and the input he's had into the pools. Our park staff has actively worked with the project team, been part of that project team to design this facility, to apply things that we know from our other pools that work, and then to try new and innovative things here as well. So I want to first recognize Brian Owen. Brian, where are you? Brian. Yeah, there he is, way in the back. Brian is responsible, as Paula mentioned, for the management of this site. And Brian's been working a gazillion hours, especially since we opened, and to make this place work for everybody. And there's so many other on the parks team. I want to recognize our director, Barry. Again, Barry, very supportive, out there helping this thing move forward. And thank you, Barry. And again, thank you all of you park staff here today who played a role in getting this open and now are operating it full throttle. We've had great turnout in the 10 days that we've been open, 12 days, I guess, that we've been open. And we're expecting just more, better and excitement as we go through the summer. So I want to thank everybody for that. And I'll just mention in closing that July is National Parks and Rec Month. So in honor of that, we're going to be offering free admission to this pool through the end of July. So get your licks in while you can. And thank you all.
Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Cornell. Well, we're just about at the end of our program here. We just have one more thing to do. We do want to thank DEC Contracting for the food. Chef Paul Schmidgel of Fire and Rice LLC, and Jay Robert, Marco Music Man, thank you for being here and supporting our effort this morning. We also want to recognize Mary Shea, who's in the room. Thank you, Mary, from the Sports Council, for being here. Very important partner to us. Well, only one last thing to do. We have to cut the ribbon. So if we could, we want to gather to the front of the slides here. We're going to cut the ribbon. We got the big scissors out this morning, so come on over. Watch us as we break open the pool here.
That's too dang hard.
You're coming down. Get away. You're coming down. Okay. Okay. Kids, watch out.
You're watching Collier Television, bringing government home.
Hello, my name is Andrea McKinney, Public Information Officer at the Florida Department of Health in Collier County. Zika virus is an illness spread primarily from the bite of an infected mosquito. Zika can also be transmitted in the womb, at the time of birth, during a blood transfusion, and during sex. Zika is a mild illness. Only about 1 in 5 people infected with Zika virus experience any symptoms. The most common signs and symptoms are fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. Symptoms can last from several days to a week. There's no specific treatment for Zika. You treat the symptoms by getting plenty of rest, drinking fluids to prevent dehydration, and taking medicine to relieve fever and pain. Zika infection during pregnancy can cause serious birth defects, such as microcephaly. Zika virus is also associated with other neurological conditions in adults. If you are pregnant and have a partner who lives in or has traveled to an area with Zika, abstain from sex or use condoms every time during your pregnancy. The Florida Department of Health established a Zika virus information hotline. That telephone number is 1-855-622-6735. Any pregnant woman who would like to be tested for Zika can do so at their local county health department for free. The best way to prevent Zika is to prevent mosquito bites. The Florida Department of Health encourages Florida residents and visitors to protect themselves from all mosquito-borne illnesses by draining standing water, covering their skin with repellent and clothing, covering windows with screens, and other basic precautions. Even really small amounts of water can be a breeding site for mosquitoes. That is why it's so important to eliminate all sources of standing water, no matter how seemingly small. Whether you're staying at home or traveling abroad, preventing mosquito bites is the best way to reduce the risk of mosquito-borne disease. The Department of Health in Collier County, the Collier Mosquito Control District, and the Collier County Bureau of Emergency Services are working together to prevent mosquito-borne disease in our community. Every individual that lives, works, or visits this county and state has a role in combating this disease. We all have a role in preventing Zika in our communities.
Collier County Domestic Animal Services has worked hard over the years to improve the live release rate. Live release rate is the percentage of animals that leave the shelter with a positive outcome.
10 years ago, our live release rate for cats was only 17%. That's only 17% of the cats that entered our shelter actually found a positive outcome. The dogs is slightly higher at 57% of dogs back in 2010. Right now, dog live release rate is 95%.
The increased live release rate can be attributed to many things.
Honestly, it's the dedicated volunteers that we have here at the shelter, our partnerships with the rescue groups and Humane Society Naples, Gulf Coast Humane Society. They help us a lot by taking animals from our shelter here, and then also our staff.
One of the biggest challenges for DAS is keeping pets in homes and out of shelters.
We're trying to find a lot more positive ways to try to find homes for animals. When people are trying to surrender their animals because they can no longer care for them, staff are trained to try to work with these people. Our goal is to keep the animal in the home and out of the shelter. Animal shelter is a very stressful, scary place for a lot of animals that don't do well. So we try to give them all sorts of options. Sometimes people can't try to surrender animals because they can't afford to feed them. We try to help people out with that. Maybe it's because they can't afford to have the animals sterilized. We actually have an animal care sterilization trust fund where we can help get the animals sterilized for free or low cost. So there's so many resources, and we really try to work hard to keep the animals in the home. That means less animals are entering the shelter, and so we have more options for people coming in to adopt animals. We have less animals available, so more animals are getting adopted too.
Another challenge facing DAS is finding homes for pets that make their way into the shelter.
We do promote adoption promotions every month or every other month, so we lower the cost to kind of invite people into the shelter, so that helps increase our adoption numbers. So it's just so many different things that we are doing and trying, and we're constantly trying different things and see what works and what doesn't work.
Pet overpopulation is a community problem, but it's a problem that the community can help fix.
Just really want to encourage the community to consider a shelter animal before they purchase an animal from a breeder or a pet store. Shelter animals make absolutely wonderful companions.
With help from the community, volunteers, and staff, DAS has accomplished great things for the homeless animals of Collier County.
It feels absolutely amazing, and we truly have to thank the volunteers for that. We have volunteers who are here every day working with our shelter cats, working with the public, somebody coming into the shelter who wants to adopt a cat. They get to know those cats and they try to match them up with the right families. And because of that, and plus all the promotions we've been able to drive our adoption rates up for our cats, and it's absolutely amazing.
All right, I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. Okay, so who's gonna do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice.
And I'll try to get the generator going without any gas.
Oh, let's not forget the cell phones, which probably won't work.
Right.
And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
Well, I think we couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.